Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video, I wanted to chat a little bit about how I take the lessons we've learned from IEW and put them in other places so that the skills that they've developed in IEW is something that they realize they can transfer into lots of different areas. Now, IEW is its own beautifully packaged thing. That's what I'm going to call it. They have their own pages that you read off of, and then you make your keyword outlines from, and then you do your rough copy and then your good copy, and all of those things are amazing. And I have no issues or problems with that. But what I recognized is I was teaching IEW to my kids because I wanted them to be able to take a blank paper with a prompt. So if you have a job, if you have a standardized test, if you have any sort of willingness or desire to write something down, that white paper sometimes can be very daunting and overwhelming because you're like, well, I've got all these ideas, but I don't know how to put them on the page. So for me, IEW answered that question because it breaks down the writing abilities to such a degree that if you practice that over and over again, it's going to be something that's in your head, right? But what I recognized was when we did like a free write, because we had taken a day off of IEW, my children weren't utilizing those skills that they learned. And so now I'm like, okay, I just have to be a little bit more intentional about it. And that is what I have been doing. And I'm very excited about it. And that's why I thought I would share it with you. So one of the things that I noticed was my daughter, Inara, I assign a book to her and she's like, whatever, don't care. All the books that mommy chooses are boring and suck and blah, blah, blah. And that's 14. So instead, I was like, okay, we're not going to do book reports, and we're not going to do, because all the book reports said essentially wrapped up in a simple sound or word was so instead, I have decided that she's going to use her IEW to write a letter to the author. And I've made sure that her dad is going to read it, and she's going to be marked as if I'm going to send it to the author. So it can't be, I hated the book, why did you bother writing it? It can't be those attitudinal things. It actually has to be something that she wrote. But I look at it and go, she can read this book and she can write it down and go, oh, I wonder why they did that. And she can write that down as a key word or a subject for her first paragraph. And then she can read a little further and go, oh, I liked that, and write that down as the subject for her next paragraph. And she's going to write 3 paragraphs. And I just have this simple notebook that I got somewhere. And I have written out what she's going to do. And that's what this book is for. She's going to start writing. And I told her I want a keyword outline. And I'm not going to worry about a good copy this time around, just because I look at it and go, it's not that big of a deal, because we're not actually going to send the letters, but she's going to be marked as if we are, right? So that's one way that I'm taking the ideas and the 3 years we've been doing IEW and transferring them into a completely different, separate workspace, if you will, and make it so that it makes sense for her, that she can use it in any area of her life. No matter what she's writing, she can use these concepts she learned in IEW and do it this way. Same exact thing with what we're doing for our South America unit. If you watched that episode just last week, that's what we've been doing here. So we're taking other countries in the South America region that we haven't learned about, and we are making sure that they get keyword outlines, and they're writing about land and animals. They're doing their own research. They're making sure that they copy and paste the bibliographies. They're doing all of that sort of thing, and I want them to practice that in a non-IEW space. This is not IEW, but you're using the skills and abilities you learned in IEW space in a completely new and different way. You're not beholden to IEW's pages in order to do IEW. And it's just a way of me kind of highlighting for my kids that this is a process that IEW teaches, but it is applicable in many, many different areas of your life. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm just really, really thrilled with the idea of taking something and applying it in other places, because that's essentially what education is all about, right? We're taking something that we've learned and applying it in a variety of different ways. And as much as you think that might come automatically, I have found that it doesn't necessarily, unless I highlight it, unless I place it in different places so that they go, oh, okay, so this is a skill that I've achieved, but it's applicable everywhere. And that's essentially what I really, really, really wanted to highlight as the years of, like, Nara's going into grade 9, Sienna's going into grade 7, but I want them to be able to just be like, oh, you know what, I could use that skill, the IW skill, and put it over here. That's what I'm really striving for. And that's the same sort of thing that we do when we're talking about Bible and Bible verses and how does this apply to your life. The SOAK method, which is a Bible method where you write down scripture, you talk about the observations you got, how do I apply to my life, and then kneel in prayer. Again, that's a method that I go, you can take with you in lots of different varieties. So with IEW, I felt like it was a little bit, because it's its own package and it's not like writing 101, or IEW sounds very much like its own entity and its own thing, and it's different from most things. I felt like I needed to just address it a little bit in a different way so that my kids were like, oh, IEW is a skill that applies to everything, as opposed to that's for IEW. Why do I have to do IEW? Because it doesn't apply to everything. It does. It totally does. So I hope this video was a help to you. I'm so thankful to be back and doing this on a more regular basis. You'll see me more as time goes on. If there are any videos that you are like, I want her to speak more to this or that or the other thing, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. I see all your comments. I address all of the comments. Yeah, I would love to hear from you as time goes on. I love this community, and I love encouraging and just building anybody up, because I think my son is very, like, we need to say words wrong. I am very excited about this community, and I loved your messages of the things that I'm saying are encouraging to you, because it does feel sometimes like I'm talking in an echo chamber at my camera for no reason in particular. So it's always great to hear from you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.